Hello, everybody, and thanks so much for watching this episode here of Your Revolution Los Angeles. I'm Chris Rod, also your host here, and Elise Garcia, to be able to tell you guys about what's going on here in California. So it's 2020. We're going through a pandemic. We're seeing record numbers here of people that are becoming unemployed and homeless, and it's important for all of us to vote. Everywhere you're seeing vote, 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 vote. But then also everywhere else, you're hearing stuff from the president himself, who's telling you that these ballots, we got to throw them away because it's all election fraud, everything that comes from the post office. And now there's even a step further that you all need to be aware of. So throughout here, the state of California, and including in Los Angeles County and adjacent counties like Orange County, Ventura, et cetera, GOP operatives have placed illegal drop boxes for ballots here in the state. And right now, the state is actually trying to investigate this further, but the Republican Party themselves are saying that they're going to continue to do so. They'll make a little bit of concessions. So what are these boxes and how will you know? Well, right now, the state has actually issued subpoenas to try to figure out where all the boxes are at. So because we don't know, but the ones that have been found, and it was actually a great report from NPR. So I'm going to be citing a couple of things here from NPR throughout this video, but you can find them throughout outside locations like churches, political party offices, and retail locations. So retail locations can be anywhere, honestly. So the way that I see this is that this is just another trick to sow doubt in the minds of people that want to vote who already were uncomfortable to vote, because that's who we need to have come out in order to defeat this fascist government that's in place, and also corrupt corporate Democrats and so on and so forth. They all know this. So so the state of California, a giant update here is that they're backing away a little bit from the threats that they were giving to the GOP party over these unauthorized boxes. And a quote here from NPR saying about earlier this week, the California Secretary of State ordered cease and desist to the GOP. They're saying for several county official boxes to remove them because the boxes say on there that they're official when they are not. Now, Republican officials have openly admitted to doing this. I thought I had this here, but they have openly admitted to doing this. And now they're just saying, okay, what they're going to do instead is just not have them outside anymore. But there hasn't been any proof of it. And for whatever reason, the California state officials are backing away and just going okay, or just being okay with it. In fact, they're not even talking about it right now on the news. I think it's absolutely crazy, because if you need to vote, if you know that things are crazy, like stuff, let's say if you're trying to vote Nancy Pelosi out of office, because now we know 100% that her and Feinstein and many others that are here in the state don't actually represent you, then where's that going to go? So you could say, yes, I voted. Yes. All right, cool. That's what we wanted to do. But then now the GOP, since they already know that that there's no way that they're going to win. It's about 10% lead that Joe Biden has. And we know that in California, it's absolutely blue all throughout the board. So one, they get to throw away these ballots. And then two, they also get to discourage people from voting. So Annalise, when you heard about this, what are your thoughts? What's your take on this?
This is a classic case of he who smelt it dealt it. because
it does stink.
Because I think it's hilarious that it's Republicans who are always talking about, things happening that shouldn't be happening, and voter fraud and things being sketchy, and how Democrats are always trying to pull stuff. And here they are putting up illegal voting containers.
Boxes, yeah.
Pop off your ballot. So, just honestly, I'm not even surprised, because it's the hypocrisy of it. The Republican Party are hypocrites because they always talk about the corruption and the disgrace of the Democratic Party, but then they're doing the same exact thing, if not worse. The Democratic Party is terrible because they pretend to not be corrupt, but they're still doing all the same things as the Republicans on the back end. So look, this is so stupid. This is so stupid because you are literally complaining about interference in our elections while interfering in our elections.
Right.
Because when you're putting out illegal collection boxes, there's a reason it's illegal. You're supposed to go through a certain process to be able to collect ballots. This is our election. So every day we just get shown again and again and again, both by Democrats and Republicans, exactly how many fucks they give, and it's zero. They don't. Yeah. All they care about is pointing the finger at each other, trying to see who they can pin the blame on, because as long as they can keep playing that little game, they control everything. And that's why we're going to break up their stupid game. We're going to bring in a new major party to actually represent Americans. And look, they know this is the beginning of the end for them. They know that there is change in the air, and this happens every few decades. We have something revolutionary come along. And look, the people are ready. We're ready to overhaul our governmental system because the corruption at this point is so ingrained in it that you have to get everybody out. Almost everybody who's in government is corrupt. So we need to replace them with people who actually have values and who will represent us and what we want and not corporations. Because if these politicians were representing us based on polling that we've already seen, we would already have Medicare for all because most Americans want it. We'd have a UBI. Most Americans want it. We'd have a living wage. We'd have free education. We'd have a Green New Deal because the majority of the country wants it. So these politicians that we are paying their salaries and that we elected are literally going against what we're telling them to do. And their job is to do what we tell them to do.
Yeah.
We're the boss. We're the boss. And they're literally looking. If this was any other position in a company, do you think this would be acceptable in any way? If you're the boss and you hire somebody and you're paying their salary and then you tell them, hey, this is what I want, and they look at you and they go fuck yourself, you would fire them. You would fire them. So just fire them and get rid of these corrupt garbage people. They're doing nothing but destroying our country.
Right. And if they're doing illegal things, of course, you kick them out. You kick them out because and after what you just said right now, Annalise, that made me realize that, I don't know why I'm always so naive to this, but let's say people like Alex Padilla or I think his name's Javier Becerra, these individuals here that are part of our California government and are Democrats, they probably also must be aware that they're unpopular and that they are also on the chopping block. And so the GOP probably told them like, hey, dude, it's not just us. Like, look, give us a break. We're actually helping you guys out too, because you realize that there's a lot of progressive activism on the streets and they're aware and they know about you. So that means you're right. The system is completely falling apart. They're seeing it. And this is proof. The whole don't panic stuff is just them trying to say, you know, they're just kind of obfuscating and trying to say, oh, it's just Democrats. Oh, it's just Republicans. But no, in the meantime, they're panicking. They're totally panicking. What the GOP was trying to say about this from Hector Barajas, who's a spokesman for the state GOP, said, oh, we're going to continue to ballot harvesting programs and not allow the Secretary of State to suppress the vote. So you know what that does to us? That makes us think, wait, hold up. You're trying to suppress the vote. So now in our minds, we then start thinking that, oh, Democrats, good guys, Republicans, bad guys because they're lying, right? But no, they're in this together. They're creating all this bull crap so we could just fight amongst each other and say, I voted Democrat now. I have a clean conscience. No, they're all in it together. Vote them all out. We need help here. We need to find a way to get these a-holes out. I mean, how do we do it? How can we do it now? Especially if our only way to participate is by voting every now and then. What do we do, Annalise? What do we do?
Actually, I talked to Ryan Knight about in our interview because
cool.
I think it's hilarious the way that this has all evolved and the point that we've gotten to, where you see these blue MAGA people. That's what it is.
Is it blue MAGA? Yeah. What do you mean by blue MAGA?
Yeah, because you can't say anything about Joe Biden because they lose their mind.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear anything. They can't stand any kind of feedback or criticism. It's crazy. So, I mean, it's gotten to the point where we are literally being harassed and shamed by people who don't want to accept the corruption within the Democratic Party, whether it's Joe Biden, whether it's Hillary Clinton, whether it's Nancy Pelosi. You know, these individuals are corrupt. Now, of course, there's an argument to be made about who's more corrupt and the lesser of two evils. But generally speaking, these are all corrupt people. And one of the reasons that I think that maybe these people who can't take these liberals that can't take the criticism, maybe one of the reasons that they feel that way, and I was talking to Ryan about this, is because they don't want to admit that you might be right, that both parties are corrupt. Because if the Democratic Party is also corrupt and they accept that reality, what does that say about them?
Yeah.
What does that say about the people that they're supporting? And so I think that maybe one of the reasons why they have such a why so many of them have such an adverse reaction to hearing anything negative about any Democrat is because if they were to come to terms with the reality of it, their whole view of everything would collapse around them. And that's something that maybe they feel that they can't handle. So, I mean, look, it's a difficult situation, but the truth is that we have to vote our conscience. We can no longer continue to vote red, blue, Democrat, Republican. We need to look at policy. Policy is all that matters. And these people have not passed any policy to help us. And now they're doing the very same corrupt thing that they accuse others of doing. So it's just disgraceful.
Yeah, we just have to vote them out. I mean, that's honestly, you know, all I have to say about that right now is we have to vote them out. We have to get rid of them. They're both on the same page. In fact, what you're trying to say, what that made me think about was, think about it this way. When they get criticized, the reason why I think they trip out, to buttress your point, imagine what it's like, let's say in a movie, or if you guys know any criminals. They're criminals, right? So these people they got into, let's say they got into this, let's just say if they got into it with, a clean slate going, yeah, you know, I want to run for office so I can help my city, so I can help my state, so I can help these people that are in need, so I can make it more prosperous, whatever. They get entrenched, they find out ways to make money. And eventually the wealthy that are in the circle, they become changelings in a way. And at that point, then they have to change their messaging, but they start saying, of course we're helping you. And they're probably convinced by the donors and, you know, by these major corporations who draft the bills and draft all the ways, you know, all the things that all the rules that are here in society. Then the second that they have their feet to the fire, it's like they're woken up. It's like someone just slapped them and took them back to reality, to where they were. And now they analyze who they are. And that has to feel like crap. Just like how you always talk about them being like garbage people. I think at that point they realize, oh my God. But then they're like, oh, no, that's not me. Oh, well, that's not me because I'm making all this money. And of course, I've been told that I'm helping everybody. So it's got to just be. It's just got to eat them up inside. And you know what? I love seeing them get destroyed from the inside. And I hope they hear this, because that means the jig is up and we found you out, that you are a piece of crap and you do stink. And we do know that you're a criminal and it's time to get your ass out of there. Oh boy, I don't know what else we're going to do here, Annalise. We have to make it happen. So what I guess I would say is, look, this one of the safest ways you can vote, if you're going to vote by mail, or, you know, dropping it off at an actual location itself that has been cleared by the state. We'll put it in the description box below as far as like where the official drop box places that you can go to. But, you know, here's a really, really secure way. And once again, I'm a private citizen right now, but when I am working, I am actually a mailman here in Los Angeles County. And I've already received hundreds of ballots already. And it's really simple. You know what you guys have to do? And let's say this for the younger generation that's not familiar too much with voting by mail. simply the ballot that you do get, and I actually have one right here. I'm not going to show the address. The ballot that you do get, just like this in the mail, big envelope. You see the size of my hand. Get that, fill that out, and you know what you have to do? Seal it, sign it, and just put it at your mailbox itself. If you're in an apartment, there's a separate mailbox there next to yours that'll say outgoing mail. That means it's going out for the mailman to pick it up, or mail person, to pick it up. That's all you have to do. Just that, or vote in person. I mean, we're in a pandemic, so that makes it super tough, and I understand that. But really, if you just see a box that says official ballot box, double check please before you put that in there, because this is just something that they're trying to get. They're trying to find a way to win by cheating. So I think it's a little funny that Trump says, hey, all they're going to do is ballot fraud. Maybe he actually means the GOP's going to do it. I mean, I don't think he actually is, because this guy's a criminal and a crook himself. But, we should look into it and start hearing it from that point of view, that he's trying to tell you from the inside, yo, I know what's going on. Our Republicans are out here doing all this ballot fraud. So watch out. Let's turn it around. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Elise?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just ready for this election to be over.
All right. Well, thanks so much for that, Elise. Thank you, everybody else, for watching this. Y'all have a good day. Hey, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please tap the like, hit the bell, subscribe to us, and support us on Patreon if you want to join the cause to help us get corrupt bribes out of our nation's news media. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, this is your revolution.